Hello and welcome back to Blue Tube for a Christmas-esque special, I suppose. It's again 2 days before Christmas, typically. A Monday night fixture on the 23rd at, now I've done two versions of this where I've got this wrong, Broadfield Stadium, also known as the People's Pension Stadium. The manager of Crawley, Rob Elliott, but we're also managed by the wonderful...
Oh, Merry Chris Davis.
That is absolutely correct. That's as far as it goes, the Christmas stuff. If any of you guys are looking forward to any more of that, you may as well tune out now. That's as good as it gets, I'm afraid. But to be fair, actually, no. Thinking about that, I was thinking the other day, Dad, I'm really appreciative for the strikers that we have now. You know, Alfie May, Jay Stansfield. I'm just so glad that we don't have Scott Hogan. It just wasn't worth it, was it?
Scott Hogan.
All right, let's get on with the show. Thanks for joining us, guys. Let's get right into it then. So, start it out as we always do. We'll look right into the form table here and just analyse whereabouts Crawley are. Look at that, though, Dad. The
right
Birmingham
there,
side, all green, green, green. That's really nice. 6 wins on the trot for us. You guys know them all too well. There's no need for us to run through all of those. Crawley, on the other hand, last time out, it was quite a cracker. They lost at Peterborough. That was 4-3. Before that, it was a win against Charlton. And then look at this. Before that, another cracker where they lost, scoring quite a few goals. You said this earlier, Dad, so you were right. They lost to Lincoln. 4-3 again. Now, two things that you can say about that, I suppose, is whilst they are scoring quite a few goals, they're also conceding a lot as well. I mean, that is absolutely outstanding. Outside of those, there's a win at Rotherham, a draw against Bristol Rovers away, and then a loss to Wickham. So what do you make of that then, Dad, the form table there?
Like you say, they know where the net is. I mean, every game there, bar one, they've scored in. So they're scoring a few, aren't they? And I think you'll probably hit more on this, but from what I was listening to the other day, they have a fair bit of possession in the game.
Yes, we'll get into that a little bit later in the video, but what I'm hoping from that, I was on The Boy in Blue, one of his live streams the other day. Unfortunately, it didn't go too well. It cut off halfway between, and I blame myself for that. It's usually typical of me for things to go wrong when I'm around. But one of the things that we did speak about is when I was looking into Crawley, it is, as you say, Dad, they're a team with quite a bit of possession, and we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on. But what I'm hoping that we get off the back of that is a little bit more of a free-flowing game, where we don't have our opposition just putting all their men behind the ball and trying to catch us out on the counter-attack.
We need to find our shooting boots, and we need to be finding the net more because, like we keep going on about we're not scoring these goals that we should be. I mean, you look at the stats, and we're having our possession. We could come unstuck if they're scoring goals. I mean, even a draw would be a bad thing now, wouldn't it, on a Monday night? And I don't want to be pessimistic because I always say I like to be positive on it, and that's how we're going to try and be, isn't it? But this is the game there to find our shooting boots and start scoring a few, isn't it? If ever there was a time, it's now. Come on, give us a nice early Christmas present.
I was just about to say that.
6 goals will do, mate.
Only.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we move on to the table then?
Yeah.
Comparing both of them, Crawley sit 21st in the table. They've only got 19 points from 19 games. Birmingham, on the other hand, we're second now. We've got 42 points. We've got a game in hand over them as well, with 18 games played. So there's quite a golfing class, but that doesn't always necessarily mean too much, does it?
It should do with Bluesden because we are cutting dry above every team. Not to be like overconfident, but we are doing it. It's just like Wickham, I don't know if they'll stay the whole season. We just look a squad that will. Crawley, I don't know enough about them. I'm interested to see what you've researched, Ben, to be honest, today.
Yeah.
Because what I've heard is they're not a bad footballing team. It's just not going well for them, and I just hope it's like, we're heading towards halfway through the season, aren't we now? And is this the time they're going to start turning it around, or are they just going to carry on? I don't know. I just hope
well, they know
we can finish them off, and score a few, like I say.
They know what they are in terms of the football inside. They know what they have at their disposal. and they know what we are. So when you speak about teams playing against us like it's a cup final, I think that's certainly what we're going to get with
Element, isn't
Crawley.
it? That's
They're
where,
looking forward
if
to
they're
it.
already not bad. I mean, the stats don't lie. They're bottom of the table for a reason, obviously.
Well,
But-
near the bottom of the table, they're not quite.
yeah, well,
right
they're in the
bottom.
bottom end of the table. That's what I mean. So they're there for a reason. But at the same time, them coming and treating it like a bit of a cup final, FA Cup final day, could give them that extra spark.
Yeah.
And it could be a banana skin game.
You have that, don't
Have I
you?
said that before?
I don't think you have, no, first
No?
time.
Okay.
Right, okay, let's move on then to their top players. The top scorers, they're actually split between two players. Highest number's 4. And that's a Will Swan, who's a striker, and a Junior Quitterina, who's an attacking midfielder. I didn't get too much more on them. Apart from that, they were the star players in terms of the goal getters. So yeah, general league stats. There's a few interesting bits here actually, based on where they are in the table as well. It's quite surprising. Despite their league position, they actually sit third with the most amount of passes, 9,164.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've been hearing.
doesn't necessarily. It's not too much of a surprise though, really, because you can keep hold of possession and still, if you're not doing anything with the ball, I mean, that's one of the complaints we've had. Not necessarily comparing us to Crawley on that
But to
sense.
have those sort of stats to be bottom of the league. Or near,
You're just
near
not
the
doing
bottom of the league, yeah.
anything. I've been potentially passing it around the back, not really creating too many chances, not getting into the attacking third. Just to finish off that point there, they've got 9,164 passes, and they're beaten by Peterborough, who have roughly 9,200, and then Blues, who has nearly 11,000 passes at this point. So second highest rated in possession, Crawley are, with 58%, beaten by
Blues, obviously.
69% for us. Now, facts from the BBC. Crawley have conceded 14 goals from set-piece situations so far in League One this season. The most of any side in the competition, and that's including penalties. Sounds quite interesting. Birmingham have won 16 points from losing positions in League One this season, and that is the most of any side in the third tier. So just a few little stats for you there. Any word on that, or do you want me to move on to injured players?
No, I'm just processing it, to be honest with you. I'll probably have a think about that. But yeah,
It's
Blues are
interesting
just
stuff.
showing the class, aren't they? And that's what I'm saying. We need to be finishing these teams off and just going and enjoying the game of football and just scoring hatfuls. That's the only issue we got with Blues at the moment. It's almost like they're reluctant to, or there's that block. It's like a mental block, isn't it, with the
It's like
Blues?
you see it on social media. Sometimes you might not know what I'm referring to here. It's like a real beautiful portrait of a horse split into 3 sections, and the start bit's gorgeous. I suppose that could be the defence and the passing and the build-up play, and then the midfield connecting, creating those chances, getting into the attacking thirds, beautiful. Then putting those chances away, the horse just starts to look a little bit naff then, and a little bit out of place. It's just there that we need to hone in our craft and get the oil paints out and make it look all sparkling and beautiful, just like the other 2 sections, don't you think?
Have we just suddenly become Radio 4 or something like that? Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's move on to the injured players. I thought I'd throw that one at you. So, yeah, I mean, we're sounding like a broken record going on about the injured players for Blues now. It's always Hanson, Wright, Samstead every single week. I've just put in a quote from Birmingham Live. It's from Chris Davis, just reported by Birmingham Live, should I say. And he said that they're all building up a little bit of training, but whether they get back into games before the new year, he's not too sure. But they're all close as such, and they're moving in the right direction. They're not sat in the treatment room and they're going outside, so it's positive.
Yeah,
They're just on the cusp now. And then with Cochrane, he's another one who's able to do a little bit more outside, which is really good news, because I think I said it before, that one looked like it was a lot worse at the time. He's doing some controlled training and building up day by day. He's fully fit as such, says Chris Davis. It's just the cut that he's had in his foot, but he'll be able to go again within a few days. So it's not hopeless, is it? It's just...
No, it's positive. It's all positive. Take what we can at the moment, won't we? This time of the year as well.
I do wish, now, you might get frustrated at me for saying this, but it's just out of curiosity more than anything. I do wish that someone would have just bloody say what on earth happened with Scott Wright. Anything at all. Even if it's a case of, look, with Scott, it's a bit personal. We're not going to go into it. But all you need to know, nothing to worry about. X, Y, and Z, maybe. Like you're not. Am I wrong for saying that? It would just be nice to know what's going on with one of our players.
It's human curiosity, isn't it? You know, we naturally want to know what's going on, especially like players that have been doing well and then just disappear off the face of the earth.
We had that game at Shrewsbury, scored that beautiful goal. In fact, did he get 2 that day? It's so long ago that I can't remember. I think he scored twice, and then
like,
bam,
man of the match, wasn't he? Along with all the others.
He's been out for a while.
Yeah, shame.
Now. Yeah. Anyway, we don't need a rest on that, I suppose. He'll be back soon anyway. With Crawley, that junior Quitterina, that centre attacking midfielder that I was talking about earlier, he was actually out injured and he should be returning for this game, which from Crawley's manager's interview, he's really happy about. So I don't know how much of a threat he might be. Like I said, he's the lead top scorer for them. Only 4 goals, but they're goals, aren't they? And
how long's he been out for, do you know?
Not entirely too sure. I just know that I was just watching their conference.
Like their form or something, or
well, the form over the last few games has actually been they've scored quite a few goals without him by the looks of things.
Well, yeah, it's true.
And another one who's a centre back, Dion Conroy. He's a doubt, not necessarily confirmed to be out, but with illness. And actually, just touching on that, the manager said a few of their players, a significant amount, are suffering with illnesses at the moment. Obviously, with the time of year, I suppose that's bound to happen, isn't it? And their squad is really stretched, and a lot of them are having to play through their injuries because they just don't have the backup, which was quite interesting.
Good.
So I know, but the thing is, when you feel like you're hearing all these things that seem to be going your way, it's often the occasion
reverse effect.
Has a reverse
sometimes?
effect, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see. Touch wood, I suppose. Can't take anything for granted. Looking into the head-to-head through the years, how many times do you think that we've played Crawley? And I'll give you a bit of a hint. It's less than 10.
Oh my God, 9.
Once.
What?
We've played them once.
It doesn't seem that long ago. Didn't we play them in a cup about 5 years ago?
Wow, that's really good. Not quite, but we played them in the cup, and it was in 2017. We beat them 5-1 in the League Cup.
I was going to say, it sticks in the mind, yeah.
Shay Adams got a hat-trick that day. David Davis also scored. And a Robert Tesche, German midfielder, if you remember who that was. I remember them well. Didn't really ever light it on fire when he was with us, but he scored 1 or 2 clearly. Played for both clubs. Player that's there now, Connell Truman. He doesn't get any games, though, by the looks of things. No. And there's this player. Tell me, Blues fans, if you remember who this was. Only a few years ago, I think back in 2017, actually, we had this player. Berilil Lubala.
But played for both Blues and
Crawley, yeah. I could not for the life of me figure out who that was. Didn't really look into them too much, admittedly. Maybe one of you out there will know.
This is recent at the Blues.
Yeah, I think 2017, just from memory. I didn't write it down.
Youth kid, obviously.
I'm not entirely too sure. But the last one that I found, Dacris Cogley, right back. Plays for Bolton now, of course. So that was...
yeah.
Let us know how much you like these sections, by the way. Are we wasting your time? What do you think? Because I don't know how interesting we're making these.
No, I like it, I do, but...
I enjoy doing them, but one thing that... I've been doing these now, I've been taking over these for a number of weeks, and one of the things that I've really struggled with here, as you'll soon find out from this absolutely appalling fact that I've got for you, finding facts about the teams that's actually decent. Crawley no disrespect to Crawley, they just didn't seem to have any decent facts. And maybe this is me and my lack of research. Maybe someone out there will go, actually, Ben Crawley actually were the first ones to do this, that and the other. So the fact that I've got for them, this is awful, this is going to lose me a lot of brownie points with you out there, and fair enough. Mark Wright, TV personality, played for Crawley for 2 matches in 2021 as a left back.
Oh, that's that kid from...
The only way is Essex, yeah.
What, mate? Yeah.
It's just shocking, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, to me, it was quite...
He came and played...
Soccer Aid or something like that, and all the commentators were like, bloody hell, he's actually all right, this guy is.
And then he went, so it was Crawley that he went to, yeah, I wondered. I remember when he did that, because he was all over Soccer AM, and that wasn't...
Well, when he was... Sorry. Before he actually did all of his TV stuff, I'll get through this really quickly, I promise. In 2005... He was actually playing for Southend under 21s. Then he went to Spurs under 18s, and he dotted around certain clubs here and there, all conference level sort of stuff, all the way up until 2011, where he took a massive career break up until 2020, and that would have been the time where he actually went into the media and all of that sort of stuff and telly sort of things. And then he came back in 2021, or really at the end of 2020, to Crawley for just a tiny bit. So clearly it didn't go too well, and he just retired.
And there's people out there saying, yeah, you can go back there and all.
So I'm sorry, Crawley. That's the best it's going to get, I'm afraid. Going to the Blues
the
now.
Crawley fans will probably be saying exactly the same thing as well.
Yeah, I suppose so. So going on to the Blues and touching on them a little bit more, how do you see us approaching this game, do you think?
Much as we have done, to be fair. I don't think we'll make any major changes.
No.
Want to clear up that thing because I can't remember the guy, KRO13 or something, was commenting about the back four for Blues. And we were like, no, it's a back three, isn't it? And like we were analysing it and looking at all the facts. And the more you look into it, it is a back three with a back four on the defence.
There's a transition, isn't there?
Yeah, There's a few people that I've noticed on some of the podcasts that have been mentioning it now, which I'm glad about because it makes you think, oh my God, we missed something massive here. But no, thank God.
Well,
It's usually like, because Buchanan's been playing the last couple of games and Cochrane did it before, sort of tucking from the left, don't we? And it sort of
Bielik pushes out to the right hand side, and what happens there? He pushes out to the right, and then there's cover, and Casey Anderson can push further up the pitch. And what happens with Jay and May as the two strike? I think Stansfield drops into the left.
Yeah.
Williamson can occupy that 10 position with May in the 9.
Sort of.
That's how I'm seeing it anyway.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Depending on how the game goes, it transitions.
But on the offensive, we just like sort of wrap up. We stay with the three at the back, and you'll see the three on the halfway line pretty much. And our wing backs have just gone forward and do their stuff.
Don't we sound good, guys? Shouldn't we get hired down the Blues as one of the coaching staff? Tell you what,
yeah, absolutely.
Be like a
I'll be the fitness coach.
I can see that, to be fair.
In fact, I'll just be the coach. Jump on.
That's all right. That's funny, that is. That's really good for you.
It's all right, isn't it? Yeah. So there's that, and like from that, I don't think we'll change much.
Well, we've got to be careful. Hold on, because we're playing on the 23rd and we're playing on the 26th against Burton at home. Now, it depends on how you look at that. I'm looking forward to that. Because let's try and get into the mind of Chris Davis here. Obviously, you're going to want to win every game, of course you are. Who are you going to see as a tougher opponent? Burton, who are just absolutely tanking at the moment, practically drabbing at the bottom of the division. And we've got them at home, Boxing Day.
Without spoiling the Burton preview that we'll obviously do, I think Burton are going to treat it more than a cup final. It's going to be like a local derby. It's going to be boys from up the road. A lot of Blues fans out that way. Don't think there's many Burton fans out this way, but it will feel like not quite.
My point is, you can't play.
But it will be a local derby.
I don't believe that you can play the same teams
for
the Crawley game and the Burton game.
You might see some smaller changes. I think like players like Leonard involved more. I think Cochrane will be brought back in over Christmas. For Buchanan. Buchanan's building up towards his 90 minutes still, so he'll change anyway. I think you probably do the hour again. Although on his interview after the last game, he was feeling a lot better and said he's looking forward to be able to get the 90 minutes in, which is good. And the back line as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see Sanderson come back in.
Well, there's rumours of him being shipped out.
I know. I still think he's got a job role for us, but I know there's a lot of people disagree with that, but he is a steady Eddie, and he's not been given the opportunity to be.
I think he's got a confidence issue. He's got it in his locker.
And the only way to overcome that is by playing games. Start of the season when he was playing the friendlies, he was looking amazing.
He's got that. It's the brutal reality of football, though. If you get players that are better, and I mean, any of our defenders, could you confidently say that Sanderson could fill in for one of them? He couldn't fill in for a Ben Davis for me. No way could he fill in for a Bielik or a Clara. He's just at the bottom of the pecking order. Sorry to say, I would have loved it. We've spoke about it a few times on here. He's coming from a real awful time last season. Brilliant strength of character to stay on the way that he has done and build on. I mean, his passing ability that he showed in some of the pre-season games was
I thought
brilliant.
that was second to none. Some of those
Absolutely
crossfield
exceptional.
passing.
I thought, right, he can push on now and let's really see something. But it's just not fell right for him, has it? And he's been a bit unlucky, but it's just how it lies, isn't it? It's the game, it's football, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go in January. But well, who knows? I think that Crawley. This is where I eat my words now. I don't want to jinx it, so sorry, but these are just my thoughts. I think Crawley away will be a much tougher opponent and a tougher game than the Burton one. And I think that for the Burton one, we rest a Paker or Water, put in a Leonard, give them a bit of a run out. Maybe even take out a Laird, put in a Gardner Hickman. I mean, my God, it's not as if we're really dropping too far from the tree if we do make a change like that, is it really? Maybe start a Dykes as well, because he's just come back from illness, which was really poorly.
I was going to ask about him.
Which was actually really poorly timed, because he was doing quite well. He was finding a little bit of form, had a goal. So yeah, it'd be good to actually see him get back into the fold again after being out.
You're saying that though, but it's like we've said on a few occasions before. The players we've got, the rotation of our squad, there's not much change in the style of play when we bring them in, is there? Do you know what I mean? Like, you bring Leonard in, he fits in really naturally. And I do think that, like, going back to Sanderson, he does drop in quite naturally. I think that's the support you've got from the rest of the team in this squad at the moment. The harmony in that team is brilliant.
It is excellent. Yeah, I was saying that the other day.
Taylor Gardner Hickman, Laird, Hansen when he comes back, I think he's got room for improvement.
I mean, how'd you fit him in now?
This is it, but
With
they're
the
going to have to
system
bide
that
the
we're
time. You've got the Icelandic right back as well to come back from injury.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, we've got some fantastic talent that can just drop in. And that rotation now, I think, is superb. It's exciting times at the Blues. You know, it's like, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. A couple of seasons ago, even last season, you could look at the team sheet and be like, oh, why have we got him in? I don't have that so much now. It's just like, yeah, do a job. Great.
Yeah. Any player can come on for anyone, and I'm not.
Obviously, we all have our favourites. Like, if you was to change Iwata and Pay, for me, that's probably the only one I really wouldn't want to change. But at the same time, say if it was like Leonard brought in, I'd be like, fair play, you're giving someone a rest.
This
and
is
I'd be more than happy to see Leonard come in, because, like I say, I think
totally
he's a
agree.
silky little player.
He's brilliant.
He's an
No,
exciting
really
little
well
player.
said. Yeah, it is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does. It feels good. I can't remember. In fact, I can't remember ever having that sort of outlook on a Birmingham City team, to be honest.
Not for a very long time.
No, that's
even
a really
the
good
old
point.
Prem days, if they'd have made a change, Brucey.
Oh, Cameron Jerome!
You do.
Remember you said that all the time. Well, no, I mean, to be fair.
Yeah, whoever it was at the time.
Your brother, our uncle, probably much more of a moaner. You'll hate me saying that. Right, well, I think we'll end it off. And finally, as we always do, predictions, and you can go first this week. How do you see this one going?
I think they'll score. I do think they'll score. I'd love us to keep a clean sheet, but I think it'll be a 3-1.
3-1. Give us goal scorers then.
So let's go with Stansfield to score, Alfie May to get back on the sheet again, and I'm going to go with It's About Time, Iwata. Got another silky
You reckon?
outside the box. Yeah, power drive, break the net.
Nice one. Okay. I think I said 2-1 on Jay's podcast. I don't think that we're quite there yet. The Boxing Day one I'm really looking forward to, but this isn't for that. I'm not going to waste time. I always do this. I go on too long. I'm going to say 2-1. I totally agree with you. I think that they'll get a goal. They've scored quite a few goals if you look at their form table in the last few games. And I'm going to go for... I think we're going to score from a set piece, and Bielik's going to get his head to it. And Stansfield's going to score as well. Sounds all right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do you
3
think?
points, that's what it's all about. 3 points.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know what you think, Blues fans. As always, it's wonderful to hear from you. And please be sure to give us feedback on the vlogs. I think we've mentioned it before. We're trying to figure out our way around them at the moment. Of course, I wasn't able to be with Dad for the last game against Bristol, which I was gutted about. I was in Liverpool, seeing Ricky Gervais. Oh, woe's me. But for the next one, I'll be there. Whether we do vlogs every single time, we only go to the home games. It's up in the air. We're not too sure, but we'll try and get them out as and when we can. So let us know what you think and if you enjoy them. Other than that, please be sure to subscribe. It really does help us out. Like the video, leave a comment letting us know your thoughts, and have a Merry Christmas. See you next time, Blues fans. Ciao.